Tell me the story. What happened? And now you're doing a lot of incredible work.
So on October 19th, 2019, me and my friends, my brothers, we were going to the bar to celebrate a friend's birthday. As we were leaving the bar, we got attacked by a couple of individuals. As we were leaving, we were walking farther, and more people started coming out, and we were attacked by them. They started fighting us. We were forced to defend ourselves. At that point, I was very heavily intoxicated, so my memory is a little jumbled through the fight, but at one point I remember I got away. I got to the grass, and I looked back and looked to see where my brother was, and I couldn't find him. And then eventually I just look over, and he's still getting beat up, so I ran over to try to help him, and I blacked out. My next memory would be me chasing after someone. Why I was chasing him, I really have no idea, but I was chasing after him, and he would pull out a handgun and shoot me 6 times. There's a lot of things go through your head when they go through, so I was like, did I even really get shot? Did this really even happen? Yeah. And then a voice comes to my head and says, hey, like, you're in shock, you need to go get help. So I got about 5 meters, and then I collapsed to the ground. I tried getting back up, and I couldn't get back up. I was trying to figure out what was going on, so I started crawling. And then another voice comes in my head and says, hey, like, what are you crawling? Call 911, go get some help. So I pulled the phone out of my pocket, called 911. But at that time, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know the intersection. It was my first time being there, so I had to go put them on speakerphone. I would look at the intersection to see where I was. And as I'm on the phone with her, someone would be driving by, and they took the phone out of my hand. They finished the phone call for me, and they would take my jacket off and tie my leg up.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, where did that happen?
It happened basically right by the airport. Right by the airport. It was like Rexdale kind of area. Yeah, it was.
And it was just a fight for
I don't know. So I have no idea. So basically, we showed nice jewelry, nice clothes. We pulled up in my boss's G-Wagon. So I think that kind of stemmed what they were. Like, they saw this. We're not in the right area. This is not the right neighborhood where we should be. And I think they just took advantage of that situation. And then that's how they attacked us.
So what do you remember about being in the hospital and being treated and?
So when I first got to the hospital, I died for 2 minutes. I was pronounced dead for 2 minutes. I then resuscitated and then given 8 blood transfusions. My first memory in the hospital was a bunch of nurses, a bunch of doctors all around me, and they're asking me, like, do you feel your right foot? My left foot? And I'm like, no, I don't feel it. Like, can you move your left foot? I was like, no. And like, do you feel your left knee? And I was like, no. Can you move it? And I was like, no. And then I would wake up 5 days later out of a coma, strapped to the bed, because my friend told me, when I got to the hospital, I started fighting everybody the minute they woke me up. The minute they resuscitated me, I started fighting everybody. I guess I was still in the fight or flight mode. So she's like, you had the hottest nurse, and then you decided to ruin it because you tried fighting her. So when I woke up, I was actually strapped to the bed for my own safety, and I had no idea what was going on. There's a nurse, he's like, hey, you're awake. And I was like, why am I strapped to the bed? He's like, it's for your own safety. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what happened? He's just like, if I unstrap you, you're gonna freak out. I was like, no. He's like, okay, cool. So he unstraps me, and then I have my right foot against the back of the bed, and I'm trying with my left foot, and I'm not getting, that left foot's not getting there. So he's like, what are you trying to do? And I was like, I want to get my left foot against the back of the bed. And he's like, you don't remember, do you? And I was like, remember what? He's like, when I lift the blanket up, like, please don't freak out. And as he's inclining my chair, slowly bringing the bed forward, and he pulls the blanket, and I'm looking basically at 3/4 of my leg missing. And I just stared at it for a bit, and then this voice comes to my head and it's like, hey, you have 2 choices right now. You either be miserable and sad for the rest of your life, or you can be happy and see where this goes. So obviously I decided to be happy and see where this goes. My thing is for people is now, is what I tell people is that, like, if I can do it, you definitely can do it. I went through this crazy situation and this losing my leg, trying to find myself, going through depression and wanting to, like, searching for ways to kill myself, to now having the mindset that I have. So I want to teach people, I want to show people that you can heal your trauma, that you are not your past, that you can create a whole new future for yourself, and to, like, heal yourself and to love yourself and forgive whatever you've gone through, and just know that there is a more beautiful life for you. Mm-hmm. There is a more beautiful life for you, mm-hmm. and there is amazing things ahead of you. You just got to see it, and you just got to want it and believe it.
there are soldiers out there who have not been shot 6 times.
Yes.
And you're here.
100%, exactly. So God definitely has a plan for me, and I'm going to take advantage of that and just inspire people and see what I can do for people and just show them that like they are not their past, they're not their trauma.
What kind of supports have you had over the last 3 years, and who do you find that you've relied on the most in that time?
A lot of support is defined just like friends and family and stuff like that. Like there's Stas here, is like the CEO. He's helped me through a lot of situations, just giving me a lot of different opportunities to do certain things. There's different other amputees that I talk to, like Shoeless Joe and stuff like that. I watch their videos, just seeing how they get through their situations and just educating myself on like what other amputees go through and understanding what I'm going through and just learning all those different aspects and stuff like that so that you can, get to the next step, get to the next step, get to the next step. And there's also like a bunch of like CEOs and like motivational speakers that I follow and I watch just to get the different mindset and just, educate myself more so I can help other people that have gone through these different situations.
Now, you mentioned the tough times, like the dark times. When did you find that you were getting past them, or I don't know if you ever get past it, but when did you find that you were turning a corner?
I thought I was turning a corner probably about a year after I wanted to like basically commit suicide. I was talking to a therapist, so she was giving me more of like mindfulness and just being able to look back of how far I've come and just be appreciative that I've gotten this far. This is what I've been doing and looking at the accomplishments I've been doing. So it was just being able to like see those times and just know that like I'm growing, I'm seeing myself growth, and now I'm getting more excited to see where I can go and where I can bring myself now.